Hi everyone, my name is Lance West. I am the digital game development teacher here at North Valley High School. In first semester of this class, students learn all about the essential elements, game structure, formal elements, dramatic elements, game theory, history of gaming. The second half of the first semester they spend on a program, a two-dimensional game design program called Scratch. In Scratch, students will then be introduced to programming concepts like iteration, variables, conditions, conditional statements, and all the lovely game programming, computer science terms that they would ever want to know about. Second semester of this class, we'll be spending it on two types of three-dimensional 3D game design programs. One is called Alice. Alice is designed by Oracle to introduce Java programming to students, and then once they get enough practice with that, we'll spend the last half of the second semester using a fairly high-end game design program called Unity. This class has state standards. The state standards were approved in December of 2013. The performance indicators, which we all have heard of and are very familiar with, the performance indicators pretty much determine whether a student meets the performance standard, and these performance indicators can be used as learning outcomes. These performance indicators support ELA and Math Common Core state standards and the Nevada State Science standards. And where there's a correlation that exists between the digital game standards and the Common Core, activities that are utilized in class support either directly or indirectly achievement of one or more of the Common Core state standards. In looking through the state standards, I wanted to pick a standard that was somewhat interesting and something I was familiar with. It being my first semester teaching the class ever, there was a lot that was new to me, I'll be honest. So I picked something from the second page under Content Standard 2. In our class, we have two types of prototyping available to us. We have physical and the software prototyping. I decided it was easier and probably more fun to create a physical prototype where students work in small teams. Physical prototypes are the easiest types of prototypes for most game designers to construct on their own. These are typically created using slips of paper, cardboard, markers, crayons, household objects with hand-drawn markings. One of the biggest parts of this project was helping the students understand the importance of gameplay, making sure that the core mechanics and the rules and just everything, the most basic parts of their game, work out the way they had decided. Constant reinforcement of how important game mechanics and getting the gameplay sorted out through the prototype. That was consistent every day. Don't be so worried about how it looks. Stop drawing, stop designing every single section, every inch of your physical prototype. Just practice your gameplay. That was an issue throughout the course of the group project. Once the physical prototype was completed, students had to complete a couple more tasks in order to get a grade on the project overall. One of the tasks was to present informally and demonstrate their game. Not a problem. The final piece, which is where the Common Core component falls into place, is they had to sit down and write a reflective paper using MLA format, as well as some cited sources from the net that included information, that related to what worked, what didn't work, with their prototype, what it was like working with a team, and so on. So that was submitted and turned in. And then that pretty much wrapped up the project. I'll have to be honest that when we were wrapping up this project and in the classroom and the students had already turned in their reflected pieces, I eventually looked and did see the ELA Common Core connection. I'm not saying that I came up with that idea myself, because I don't take that credit, but I was just, I don't know, surprised. Yeah, surprised, probably not the word. I was impressed though. At the start of the school year, one of the categories in my in this game class came from the Vegas teachers, and it's a writing skills component. I think it takes about 10% of their overall grade. So that's probably where it came in eventually. The draft standards for digital game development didn't come through until I think mid-October, maybe even into November. So by the time I actually had time to read these standards, we had just finished up, and that was in early December. And then I think a couple weeks later they approved the state standards. So interesting. Well, that's it for my part of the presentation. I had fun prepping this, and if you guys have any questions about anything I discussed, come and talk to me. You know where I'm at in room 122.